Yo, 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 it's your boy Chaos Rome, aka Milkshake, aka Trey Songs. What's up, and welcome to my first video. Oh my god, it's been forever, my first one. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I would appreciate it if you hit that like button. I mean, it doesn't charge you anything, so please help by hitting the like button to support the channel. And today, we're talking about my favorite game, the best game on the Gala ecosystem. Legends Reborn. It's been a long time coming. Yes, finally it's here. So today what I wanted to do, I wanted to go through the 10 things that you need if you're just getting started with Legends Reborn. So if you're new to this game and you haven't got a clue what to do, this video is for you. So the first thing I want to talk about is you need to get used to the creatures and the action cards. And to do that, you have to go to deck editor. And on the left hand side, you'll see creatures. These are all the creatures that they have in the game. As you can see, I have some duplicates because some of these creatures are NFTs that I own. Not going to get into none of the NFT stuff. If you want to know more about NFT, you can go to the Gala website and check that out. I've got information about NFT. I'm going to do another video about NFTs later on, but we're not going to go through that. But here in this section where it says creatures, you have all the creatures. You can click on them. It shows you the stats. It tells you their passive abilities. So you want to get familiar with all the creatures. Understand that there's different class. So this one that I'm looking at is a shaman creature. This one here, one of my favorite, the Naga. It's a warrior. So again, get familiar with creatures, and then at the bottom you have cards. So these are the action cards that you would need to craft your deck. So right now it will only show you the cards that you have available to use in your deck creation. But if you go to the top and it says show unavailable, you get to see all the cards in the game. And again, this is really cool for you to get an idea of what cards they have. Also, a good thing about these cards, they show you the buffs and debuffs. So that's another thing you want to get familiar with is the debuffs. So for example, let's look at fatigue. Again, another one of my favorite debuffs from the illusionist class. So fatigue, drag attack costs 1 additional energy. So what this does, it makes it more expensive for you to do a drag attack. You know what I mean? You got to pay for that drag attack. So again, the first thing I will do if I'm getting started is to go check out the creatures and check out the cards. The second thing that I would recommend is when you're creating your deck or crafting your deck, you want to use, so let's go create a new deck. Again, you got to choose your heroes. So these are, I never really spoke about the heroes, but they're kind of self-explanatory. Choose a hero that you like based on the action cards that they have when you get your hero special. So I'm going to choose the Thief. She's cool. She's actually one of my favorite as well. So when you're crafting a deck, use the search feature. The search feature is so cool. It's so intuitive. It allows you to find certain cards by name and even by debuffs. So if you wanted to go, let's say heal, obviously you have the creatures that do heal. So again, Pixie is one of my favorite creature. So when you click on Pixie, we have the cards. Again, I typed in heal, so it shows me all the cards that have that buff in there. If I typed in bleed is another good debuff. All the cards that have bleed within them will come up. So when you're crafting your deck, use the search feature. It allows you to find the cards that you're looking for. So if you're building like a poison deck, you can type in toxic, and that will come up with all the cards that have toxicity within them. So that's number 2. Please use the search feature at the top when crafting your decks. Okay, we're gonna get into number 3. So the third thing that I would recommend is to practice, 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 practice. When you start the game, I know you're gonna get really excited and you're gonna be like, yeah, I can't wait to get into the arena to kick some ass. You know what I mean? And it doesn't kind of work like that because there's some killers on that leaderboards in the arena. There's some people who know how to play the game. If you're new to the game, they will chew you up and spit you out. You know what I mean? So practice, practice makes perfect. And ideally, you kind of like want to practice with a friend. So if you got a friend, tell them to download the game. Both of y'all play. So when you go to practice mode, on the left hand side it says practice. You have practice with a player. So this is where you create a room, put in the code, and you can practice with a friend. And both of y'all can get good. You can take your time. You can talk about your strategies. You can help each other out. Because when you play the bot, when you practice against the bot does some janky stuff that a normal player wouldn't do, and it doesn't help you become a better player. So um, again, I'm always playing the game, so you can send me a message and say, yo, Chaos, I need help, can you like practice with me? If I'm online, I'll be more than happy to do that with you. But yeah, practice definitely would help you to improve your game and become a better duelist, I guess, within this game. So the fourth thing that I want to talk about is having once you create your deck and you got a strategy. Obviously I'm going to do a different video on deck creation. So I'm assuming that you've got a deck and you've worked out a strategy. When you create your deck, you want to make sure you have the right setup on the board and the right formation. And what I mean by that is certain creatures have passive ability that work adjacent to the creatures next to them. So making sure you set up the right formation is so important. I've played so many new players and they put their creatures in random position, and you're like, why would you put the harpy next to that creature? So making sure you have the right formation. So here's the harpy, and because her, it just ended my turn. It just ended my turn. Oh my god, it just took my turn from me. So now we gotta wait for this to play. Finally, all right, cool. Back to my turn. So we have the harpies here. So I want her passive ability, which gives me a radiant armor. I want to put that on I call this the crab lady. I forget her name. And the merfolk spear lady or spear maiden. So I want the harpy's passive ability to work on those two. So that's why I have them next to her. So making sure you have the right formation before you start your match. So the fifth thing I want to talk to you about, number 5, is the do log or the action log that's in the bottom right hand corner, which is this thing here. Please use it, familiarize yourself with it. It's really important because that way it lets you know what's going on. With new players, they can get lost with all the action and the buffs and the debuffs and the passive ability, and you're like, what just happened? Like your opponent might play a card and you've lost like 2 of your creatures from an area attack and you don't know why that is. So when you look at the previous action, you can click on it and it will tell you that your opponent used an action card, you attacked, who got attacked, and how much damage was dealt. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is this is an extra tip. On the left hand side where it has this speech bubble, you actually have emotes. So this is new. This is new. This wasn't in the game at the beginning when they first did the play test and the beta test and all that stuff. So this is really cool, so you can just express yourself. So if you did something, if your opponent killed one of your favorite creature, you can cry about it all day. If you made a mistake, you can just go, F my life. So that feature is there. A lot of people don't know that that's there, but it's there. So number 6 is hand management. So when you're playing the game with new players, they like to put all the creatures on the board on the first turn, and you don't actually have to do this. A lot of people think that they need to fill the board with all the creatures before they can end the turn, and no, you actually have the option to keep some creatures in your hand, and this is a good strategy to protect your glass cannon, those creatures that have high DPS but have low HP. So by doing this is a really cool strategy to save those creatures until late game to use them. So making sure that you're utilizing your hand to protect your creatures. So I will play these 3 and then move on. Now there are some creatures that actually benefit from you holding too many cards in your hand. So making sure that you know which creatures have certain passive ability, because you don't want to give your opponent extra benefits. So if you have more, there's some creatures, for example, the harpy, if your opponent has more cards in the hand, she will get radiant armor, and radiant armor is one of the strongest armors in a game next to flame armor, and you don't want that to happen. So even though keeping creatures in your hand is a good strategy, sometimes it can actually benefit your opponents. You got to make sure. This is why I said learning each creature's passive ability will make you a better player. Number eight is managing your energy. So if you look over to the bottom left where you see your hero, just above the head there's a number. That's your energy counter, or the amount of energy you have to perform an action. So as you can see, I have action cards in my hand, and each one of them have a number at the top. That represents the energy cost that it will cost for you to use that action card. Now, banking your energy, what I mean by banking your energy is you don't actually have to perform an action. What I see with a lot of new players is they feel like before they can end their turn, they have to consume all the energy that they have and put it down to zero. And that's not the case. You'll see with high level top players, they would bank their energy, especially in the early game, because obviously your opponent doesn't have enough energy to wipe out your field. So you're kind of like safe, especially if you got like a really cool defense set up with certain creatures. But again, I'm gonna get into deck strategy and synergy with creatures in another video. But for now, banking energy. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna end my turn banking 2 energy. So now I have 5. And the benefits of that, it allows me to use stronger cards that give me more energy to towards my hero meter. Number 9, do not waste your energy on creatures that's gonna die at the end of your turn. Certain debuffs that do damage over time, like poison and plague, will trigger at the end of your turn or at the start of your opponent's turn, to be precise. And there's no point you wasting 2 or 3 energy on a creature that's gonna die at the end of your turn. And this game is really cool and clever because it actually lets you know what passive abilities and what buffs are gonna trigger or what creature is gonna die at the end of the turn. So if you hover your mouse over the end turn button, you'll start to see certain icons appear on your opponent. So you can actually check what buffs and debuffs and if what creature is gonna die before you actually end your turn. And by doing this, it will allow you to save those precious energy that you need to win the game. Last but not least is I would recommend for any new players just starting out to play Legends Reborn is to join the Gala Discord. Yeah, I know it's a very simple, self-explanatory tip, but you'd be surprised how many people get into the game and don't even know that Gala has a Discord for the Legends Reborn. And it's trust me, the information that you will learn from there. If you get lost or you're stuck and you need help, you could post. You could post in the chat. I'm always in the chat. I'm in there 24/7. Some people think I don't sleep or I got clones because I'm in there 24/7. But you will find me in there. You can message me at Chaos. And again, like I said, if you need to do some practice, like I'm there. You know what I mean? I love the game so much. I'll be there, down to practice with anybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. I did it. First video. It's a wrap. Yes. All right. Well, thank you. If you come this far, you have to. Like, even if you didn't like the video, you got no tip and help and advice from this video, and you're here at the end. Well, clearly you must have liked something. Hit the like button. Subscribe for more content if you want to see more content from Legend Reborn or any game within the Gala ecosystem. My name is Chaos Rome. Thank you guys for watching my video and stay tuned for the next one.